This video is the only video you need to watch to start understanding how candlesticks are formed. Can you see these two charts? All these things that I just draw are candlesticks, okay? Maybe if you have looked at a chart, maybe you must have spotted some of this kind of formation, okay? So what are the difference between this and this? Maybe the way that I draw them, but basically there are no difference. What if I introduce this? I say this is bearish and this is bullish. So what made this bullish and what made this bearish? Now this is what I want to explain in this video. Some people think that because a candlestick is painted red, it becomes a bearish candle, or because a candlestick is painted green, it becomes a bullish candle. That's not the basic. Okay, so let's try to understand. Now, this is a bearish candle. Why is this a bearish candle? On some exchanges, you see them in red color. Okay, so the reason it is a bearish candle is because it opened here. Can you see? The price opened here. After it opened, it tried to push up, to go higher. And as soon as it reached to this point, it started dropping again. That's why you see this wick or shadow. Some people call it shadow, others call it wick. I mean, this part that is just like a thread. Okay, so it is called wick. So as soon as the price started here, it tried to go up, but once it reached here, which is the highest point for this particular candle, it started to drop. Okay, so as it is dropping, it formed a body here, because this is where it started. So it formed a body, and this is the body. It formed this body till this place, okay, till this place, which is the lowest, but it pushed up again. That is why the body here cleared up and we have only wick. Okay, so it closed here. So this is a bearish candle because it opened high, tried to go higher, but started coming down till this point, but couldn't keep being at this point. It went up again and closed here. So like I said, this is a bearish candle because it started high and closed low. So let's say this place is $1. So it went from $1 to maybe $1.2, but went back again to $1, and from here it went to 0.8, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.5, and finally closed at 0.4. But before it closed at 0.4, it went down to maybe 0.2. Okay, so when it went down to 0.2, it got pushed up again to this place at 0.4, and unfortunately the time ended. This means the candle closed at 0.4. So let's say that this is a 1 hour candle. So all these things that I just described happened in just 1 hour. Okay, so let's say the candle just formed. This is maybe the first seconds of the 1 hour. It formed here, and as soon as it formed, it tried to go up. But because it couldn't hold there, it couldn't continue to go up, it started falling down. While going up, while the candle is going up, it is forming a body. It is forming a body, just something like this. It's forming a body going up. But because it couldn't hold and the time has not ended, it started dropping. Okay, it started dropping. And once you reach to this place, it started to form body again. So while it is dropping the body. Okay, it is dropping the body and forming a wick or a shadow. So as soon as it reached here, it started to form another body. So from here is going negative, and from here up is going positive. Okay, so what happened here is that in most exchanges, once the price started to go positive, which is bullish, the color of the candle changes to green. But once it started to go negative, the color of the candle changes to red. So like I mentioned earlier, the price started here, maybe at $1. It tried to go up to maybe $1.2, but it didn't hold. So it tried to go down again. From here, it started going down 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, and 0.4, but it went down till maybe 0.2. But then it couldn't hold, so it went up again. So this means that while this candle was here, the whole body was full. But as soon as it left this point, this lowest point, to go up, this is why this wick was formed, or this shadow was formed. Okay, so I'm still going to explain it with a bullish candle, but let's just address bearish candles first. Okay, now for this, since this is a bearish candle, it means that the price started here. Okay, the price started this place at this point. Then once the price started at this point, it tried to go up. It tried to go up. This means that during that point, during that time that the candle has not closed and it was trying to go up, this candle was in green color. Do you get it? It was in green color. So as it was going up and reached to this point, which is the highest point, okay, it started dropping again. Then as soon as it dropped to that particular point where the price opened, in some exchanges, the color would be faint. It won't be green, it won't be red, because they're just at the exact point or the exact price where it started. So once it minuses small amount from that exact point where it started, it changes to red. So as it drop and drop, it went down to this place. Okay, it went all down to this place, but it couldn't continue to go down or to be at this point. That is why it went up. As soon as it went up, and the time was over, so it closed here. So this is a bearish candle because the price started here at the higher point and closed at the lower point. The price started at the higher point and closed at the lower point. So this is open, this is closed. This is highest, this is lowest. All right, let's try it with this one. Now, this is a bearish candle because the price started here, which is the highest point. It didn't went up again. It just started here. And from here, it started going down, 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 and went to the lowest. As soon as it reached to this lowest point, it started to go up again, and somehow it closed here. So this candle have the opening as the highest, also have it as the opening, and this place is the closing, and this place was the lowest point. So why is this a bearish candle? It is because the starting price was higher than the closing price. Do you get it? The starting price was higher than the closing price. Same thing applies here. The starting point was higher than the closing price. So the candle started, the price started here, tried to go up, but somehow it went down, and down and down, went as low as this, then went up again. But before it could went maybe higher, the time ended and it closed here. So it's bearish. So the same thing applies to this particular one. So the price opened here, which is at a higher point. As soon as it opened, it tried to go up. Okay, it tried to go up, but the price couldn't sustain going up. Now it dropped back to this place. And as soon as it dropped back to this place, the time ended and it came out at this format. So in most exchanges, this will be in a red color because the price started high and closed low. Okay, so the same thing applies here. The price started here. It tried to go up, but somehow it started going down. It went down up to this point, this lowest point, but somehow it started going up again and closed here. Okay, so this is the opening, this is the closing. This is the highest point, this is the lowest point. So in most exchanges, you see this as H. Once you highlight the candle, you see something like H, you see O, you see C, and you see L. Okay, so it's another bearish. And this one is also a bearish candle because it started at a higher price here, went down to this place, and further went down to this lowest point. Somehow it went up and closed at this point. So the price started higher and closed lower. So let's say the price started at $1 and this is $0.8 and this is $0.5. So the price started at $1, went all the way down to $0.5, and somehow it went back to $0.8. So in essence, it started at a high price, closed at a low price, but had a lowest price of this, which is why we have this wick. So this one didn't have a highest point. So the opening is the same as the high point. That is why we see it this way. Then the same thing applies here. But the difference between this and this is that this one opened at this point, maybe at $1. It went down to maybe $0.5, and somehow it came back and closed at $1 again. So do you get it? So this place is the opening, it is the high, it is also, okay, it is not the low, it is the opening, it is the high, and it is also the close. Okay, it is the opening, it is high, and it is also the close. So what exactly happened? We said it opened at this place, went down to this lowest point, and somehow went up again and closed at the same place that it opened. Okay, now for this is also a bearish candle because it opened at this point. Somehow it tried to go up to this highest point, but it couldn't sustain. So it went back down to close at the exact point that it started. So the difference between this, and this is simple. This started, let's say, at $1. Then it went down to 0.5, but somehow it went up and closed at 0.8. So could you see the difference between where it started, which is the opening, and where it closed is around $0.2. But this one, there is no difference between where it started and where it closed. Okay, so that is it. So all these samples that I just draw here, each of them have, I think most of them have their names. Okay, most of them have names, but they are not perfect. But I think why I made them is just to help you understand what a candlestick is and how they are being interpreted. So this is for bearish. What do you learn? The bearish candle starts at a high price and ends at a low price. So it opened at a high price of, let's say, $5 and closed at a low price of, let's say, $3. Okay? All right, let's talk about bullish candle. So like I said earlier, there's no really any difference between these two drawings. The only difference is where each one started, where the price started. So I believe with the definition and the explanation I gave for the bearish candle, you'll be able to spot that bullish candle is the opposite of bearish candle, or that bearish candle is the opposite of bullish candle. So since the bearish candle opens at a high price and close at a low price, it means that bullish candle opens at a low price and close at a high price. Do you get it now? Okay, so it opens at a low price and close at a high price. So what exactly happened here? What happened is this: the candle opened here. Somehow it tried to go below the opening price. So this means that during that time, when it opened here and it started going down, the candle was red in color in most exchanges. But because it didn't sustain to be at this level, it started going up again. Once it reached here, it was in a neutral color, and once it added more values, it turned green and started creating a body. So while it was going down, it started creating a body, but because it couldn't sustain being at this down price, it wiped off the body that it created and left only the wick. Some people call it tail, some people call it wick, some people call it shadow, and left only the shadow. So this shadow helps us to know that, oh, during this particular time frame, there was a time the price reached to this level, but it couldn't sustain. Thereby, it went up and up and up and somehow closed here. Okay, it even went up to this highest point, but couldn't sustain it, then wiped back again to close here. Okay, so bullish candle opens at a lower price and closes at a higher price. Okay, so the same thing applies here. It opened here, somehow went down to this lowest point, but somehow started going up again, went to this highest point, and somehow dropped to this level. So it closed here. Okay, so a bullish candle opens low and closes high. So in most exchanges, what you see here is L, this is O, this is C, and this is high, which is H. So you see O for open, C for close, H for high, and L for low. So open, low, and close, high. It means bullish. All right. So what happened in this candle is this. The price started here. Okay, it started here, tried to go down, but somehow went up again. And as soon as it reached at this point, the time frame ended and it closed at this place. That is why it didn't form any wick. So it didn't go up and down, because if it went like up, if it went further like this and then go down to close here, it will form a wick. But this one didn't form a wick or tail, because it didn't go higher than this before the time frame ended. So the same thing applied here. It opened low, tried to go high, went up to this height, but somehow started dropping and closed here. So open, close, high. There was no lowest. So the open was the same thing as the lowest price. Same thing applied here. The close was the same thing as the highest price. Okay, and for this, the price opened low, went as low as this, somehow started going up, and went as high as this, and somehow started going down to close here. So indecision in the market. Okay, there was indecision. Well, should it go down? It went down. The bulls started buying, went up. They started buying, went up to this place. Then the seller started. They started selling, and it went and closed here. Okay, so for this, it opened low, tried to go down, but somehow it started going up, and it closed here. So this is O, this is close, which is C, and this is L, which is lowest point. So this C serves also as the highest point. So the same thing applied here. Let's say it opened at $1, somehow it dropped to $0.5, and somehow it started going up again and closed at $1. That is why we see it this way. So the same thing applied here. It started low, maybe at maybe it started at $0.5. Okay, it tried to go up, but somehow the seller started taking over and it went down. Let's say it started at 0.5, it went up to $1, but it started going down to end at that 0.5. So the opening is here, the closing is also here, and this is the highest point. So opening is here, closing is here, and the lowest point is here for this particular candle. So if you have any question, you can drop the question in the group or drop the question in the comment section of this video. Okay, I believe I explained everything in a clear way. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so to subscribe now. Thank you so much.